Hey guys, Caleb from thebookflipper.com. We're going to show you the art and science behind packaging a box full of books. So you do want to be a little bit cautious when you do books because they are so heavy, and if you don't use a good enough cardboard box, you can reuse them. This is a box that's already been chipped. You can see the old tape remnants on here. And if you're not careful when you pack it and you leave too much slop and wiggle room, you're going to end up with books that slide around. You could potentially bust through the side of the box and end up with a missing box of books, which is no good. In general, UPS and FedEx take better care of your books, so as you're shipping into Amazon, you've got a better chance of them being okay. But if you are shipping through the US Postal Service, either to friends or if you're getting books on consignment, this is a very important video to make sure you're packaging them correctly. So the first step is taping the edges of the boxes. And let me show you, this is a bit of overkill when it comes to taping, but it is very important. You do want to get the box as square as possible. You don't want to leave edges where there's some weak spots. So tape slot 1 is just going to go over the main slot. Again, make sure it's nice and square as you can. This is the part that's a little bit overkill, but it is going to be extremely helpful. So we're actually going to tape the long edges here. One that's going to make it a little more waterproof, especially as you start getting into the winter months where there could be some snow. And 2, it's just going to help reinforce everything and keep that box as square as possible. So 1 piece of tape along the long edge, 1 each along the short edges here, and then we're going to go 1 more piece of tape across that middle to make that as strong as possible. So that's the box. Now when you fill this, you want to think of this like a game of Tetris. You want to fill this as best you possibly can. I don't know if it matters or not. We don't usually stack them up endwise like that. I just found that in general, the box is going to be straight up and down. So you want to get boxes straight on the bottom, and it's a little bit easier to package them in and kind of fill all the nooks and crannies. In general, I don't know that it matters, but if you do have a larger hardcover book, you can actually put that on the bottom, and that's going to kind of give you a nice buffer for everything else going in the box, as well as if you start with your larger books, you're going to be able to sort of fill that in. So if you want to come a little closer here and just kind of show real quick how we're doing this. Again, I don't know that it matters or not, but if you do have some books that are dinged up a little bit more than others, you can put those on the very, very bottom. And in this case, we're essentially just going to kind of fill up the space, and usually start with your larger books so you can kind of fill it right up to the brim. And then after that, you want to try and find some books that are going to kind of fill in those cracks as well. Again, you want to get stuff as tight as possible. You don't want to leave a lot of wiggle room for books to move around. You want to come right up to the brim if you're able to. And then you can stand books straight up and down to kind of fill in the other gaps as you go. And again, you want to just fill in everything as much as possible so these books are not moving around during shipping. If you're a little OCD, you can kind of wedge in more or be a little bit smarter with it. That's kind of perfect there. I could probably fit another book or 2 down in the cracks here. So what you might want to do is, if stuff's not moving around a whole bunch, you want to kind of fill in those cracks, something like that. So I've got a nice flat area on the top. I don't have to fill in a lot of space. You probably want to add just a little bit more packing material. I think I have some over here. So some crushed paper, or if you happen to have some air bubbles, those can help as well. And again, we're not going to go too crazy. We're just going to try and fill in some cracks to make sure the stuff's not able to move around a whole lot. That's a lot of bubbles. That's a pretty good area. And then we're going to go ahead and seal the top of the box. So a good box, if you push on the middle, won't really go down a lot. Again, we're trying to keep this as square as we possibly can. And then the same tape rules are going to apply. We want to get the top nice and square. 1 piece of tape down the middle. Square it up. Again, we're going to go a little bit overkill, but we're going to tape up the short edges as well. Again, that makes it waterproof, as well as just provides a little bit more structural integrity. And then 1 last piece along the top. If you're shipping to Amazon, you want to stay under 50 pounds. In general, you want to stay under 50 because these boxes can be heavy. So this is about as good as it gets. This box is fairly substantial. It's not really going to go anywhere. And cross your fingers and hope that UPS delivers it carefully. And that's how to package a box.